Good morning. I'm meteorologist Dave Epstein. It's Tuesday, the 24th of February. Let's get to today's weather wisdom. All right, let's talk about the storm a little bit. So, here's some of my thoughts on it for myself, and I always do this. I definitely am known to downplay things, and I realize that. And I have to, and I've said this before, I have to be careful not to downplay things too much uh, because I think that at the end of the day, most people just get through this. And even in Providence with 30 whatever, 37, 38, 39 inches of snow, uh, they're going to shovel out. It's going to melt, and it's an inconvenience. People will be back at work. Now, maybe not today, but certainly tomorrow. And it's not to say that it's not impactful for people. It absolutely is. But the hype that goes on with these things as if it's something that's going to be life altering. This was not going to be a life altering storm. To me, life altering storms are severe tree damage where trees are coming down all over the place and we're seeing homes getting damaged, a hurricane, coastal flooding like Blizzard 78. And I hate to bring it up because it's been brought up a lot the past couple of days where you had thousands of homes going into the water. Literally, thousands of homes damaged. Uh, you know, this was a pretty big storm. There's no question about it. Now, one of the things I put out there 2 nights ago, I said it looks less intense, and I have to be careful with my words because what I meant was in my head, I wasn't thinking the storm's going to be less intense. The pressure's 966 millibars or whatever it got down to. It's that the impact to Greater Boston was going to be less intense. And it was. We didn't get into the 2 foot stuff. And I was worried about that. I was worried 3 days ago that we were going to get 2 feet of snow again in Boston, that we were going to see a second top 10 storm in the year. 1978 again, January and February, you had two top 10 storms in that year, back to back. So I was concerned about that. So as it looked like, and it did shift slightly south and east. So all that heavy stuff that was in Providence, southeastern Mass, if that storm had been just another 50 miles closer, that Providence stuff would have been around the Worcester area or southern Worcester County. And the stuff over southeastern Mass would have been in greater Boston and up through Essex County and up into northern Middlesex County. And we would have seen a bigger swath of 2 feet of snow in more populated areas. So as now it's about 48 hours ago, as it looked like the storm was just edging ever so slowly south, I said, "Hey, it looks a little bit less intense," but I should have been more methodical with my words and said it looks like those heaviest bands of snow are going to stay a little bit south of the city, which is what happened, which is what was in my head. The other thing I did that I was not careful about, I was sloppy, frankly, was on the map that I made yesterday morning, and I put that, I think I had 16 to 22 inches with some places going over 2 feet. And in my opinion, that's not a horrible forecast. I mean, yeah, sure, you didn't put 3 feet. Nope, I didn't. Because I honestly didn't think that we'd get to 3 feet. But I put too much on the Cape. I was sloppy. And I knew that Nantucket and the Vineyard and the south side of the Cape were not going to be in that white zone I had on the map. And I should have put them a couple of zones lower as I did the previous map. But when I got up yesterday morning, I was still so exhausted. I just frankly was too tired and I didn't focus on it. So it's a lesson to myself to be sure that I'm being really careful. And I think also, as I've gained more followers over the past couple of years, I think I need to also be more mindful of the fact that not everybody who's listening to me is in greater Boston, that I have more people who might be further west or in parts of New Hampshire or Vermont or Maine or Rhode Island in this case. And just to kind of spread out my thinking a little bit. It's not that I didn't know that Rhode Island was going to see the most amount of snow. I figured that's where it was going to be. I think I might even have some social media tweets out there about that, but I don't think I hit it hard enough. So that was the other thing I didn't do. I liked the forecast for the Mass Pike North a lot. I was happy with that. I was frankly happy with the forecast for Greater Boston. I think the tide stuff worked out real well. I think the fact that we didn't see major coastal flooding, or even for the most part moderate coastal flooding, also worked out well. I think the power outage thing worked out pretty well. It was frankly less impactful than I expected in Metro West. I lost power yesterday at about 5 a.m. and got it back on by, I think it was like 8:39, 9, 10 o'clock, something like that. And I was shocked, frankly, that the power came back on. And kudos to Eversource for getting that power back on as well. I'd be curious. I put this is out obviously on all the different podcast things, but it's also on social media, and I'd be curious what you think. Be as I always say to my students, I want to be constructively give you constructive criticism, not destructive criticism. So if something you think could have done better, we're getting towards the tail end of winter season, but then we get thunderstorm season and spring flooding and rain and all of that. So want to be mindful of how those forecasts are kind of playing out as we move into the upcoming season. So just some thoughts on the storm. Today, we're going to be mostly sunny. We're up near 30 degrees tonight, clouding up late at night down to the teens. Tomorrow, a little bit of snow, coating to an inch or two would all we're going to muster out of that. Then on Thursday, we've got another weak weather system that's going to move through. That doesn't look like a big deal either, that Thursday system as it comes through here. Again, clouding up. There might be a little bit of spotty rain or snow moving in on that day. And then we're going to actually have, believe it or not, we're actually going to have a pretty nice weekend. So again, Thursday system quick. Then it's high pressure builds in. Beautiful Friday, Saturday. And then we get into Sunday and Monday, and high pressure builds in for Monday. And then we have to sort of watch what happens on Tuesday. There might be another system moving in here that could be rain or snow on Tuesday. And that should be out of here on Wednesday morning. So that's the next kind of watcher, I would say, would be that next Tuesday system. We'll see what happens. I hope you all have a great morning. And thanks again for following me, for listening. And I really do appreciate it.